Bear Down Bears fans. That press conference was pretty much just terrible yesterday. I mean, we got answers to things, but probably not the answers we were looking for. But based on the answers we got yesterday, now I got a new question for you. Question on the table today. Now that we know that Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy are coming back, will they be able to figure out the quarterback position? Let's talk about it right after this. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly and we don't want you to miss a thing. So make sure that you hit that bell. Also, want to give a big shout out to the fine people over at Martinelli Originals. They're the people to give us these lovely Chicago Bears logo heads for the ASKR studios, keeping us looking good and fresh in here. Big love to them. Make sure you check those guys out by checking the links in the description below. Now, we didn't see any change yesterday. We thought we were going to get something. The change we saw was Chuck Pagano being out as defensive coordinator. I don't think that's the change we were really expecting. But okay, I'll take that too. I think that there needed to be some change at that position as well. But Matt Nagy on his way back. Ryan Pace on his way back. Ted Phillips, still the president of football operations, and George McCaskey has full trust in these three men to figure out the quarterback position and to fix this Chicago Bears team. So the question I have for you is, do you have that same confidence? Do you think that Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace can fix the quarterback position for the Chicago Bears? And there's a few things that go into that. See, it's not just the quarterback position. We've had this argument, right? We've had this debate. The Bears' problem is not just the quarterback position. You also need to shore things up for that quarterback, for him to be successful. You can't just send a guy out there and be like, praise God, let's see what happens. So first things first, I guess start with the simple. Can they find the quarterback? I think I take a little bit of solace in the fact that Matt Nagy, whether true or not, but based on the information that we has, was somewhat instrumental in getting Andy Reid to really take a deep look at Pat Mahomes. Now, I don't know if he was the only guy or if he was the driving force, but I know that he was a part of that group that really went to Andy Reid and said, this is the guy that is the future of this franchise for the next 10 years. We need to draft him, which caused the team to move up and go after Pat Mahomes. It does instill a little bit of confidence in me that Matt at least knows what he's looking back from the quarterback position. Now, I don't know if Matt was the OC at the time when they were going after Pat, but I know that he was able to coach Pat, and if he was a driving force on that team, he at least looked at him. Well, no, I guess he would have had to be the OC because he was here in 2018. So, but anyway, the big thing for me is that he knows what he's looking back for a quarterback that he wants. Now, the question is he going to find that in this draft, or is that something that you have to find that's in free agency out there? And listen, there's not a lot in free agency out there, so if that's where you're looking for your next franchise quarterback, unless you go make one of the big name moves, unless you get Deshaun Watson in the building, it's not going to happen for you there. And this press conference felt like kind of a find that guy and show me that he can make growth this season, maybe into next season. They were very vague on contract extensions. That was kind of weird, very weird point of view. But the big thing for me is, are they going to be able to identify that guy in the draft if he is there, especially if you're picking at 20? And listen, even if you are picking at 20, we know Pace loves the leverage picks. We know that he has no problems moving up to go get his guy. Is he going to be able to do that to finally get the right guy with Matt Nagy's help in the building? I think that's the question on the table, and that's the part that's very interesting. And honestly, I don't know. I would like to think that with Matt's help, I honestly believe he's drafted better with Matt in the room because he's not just locking himself in a room. But I think that's still a tough question that is yet to be seen. Now, before I continue with the video, I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace can turn this thing around and find the quarterback of the future? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. The other thing for me is, it's not just the quarterback that you need to find. We have to stop doing this thing where we get a quarterback and then we undercommit to him. And what I mean by that is, protect this man. Protect this man. The Bears have done a poor job drafting consistent offensive linemen, and I think that that's the most important position in football, honestly. While Green Bay Packers fans may complain that Aaron Rodgers has never gotten a first-round draft pick wide receiver, he's gotten many of offensive linemen that can stand in front of him. And guess what? For most of his career, he's had a pretty good offensive line, which gives you time to stand back there and be one of the greatest of all time. Now, is he one of the greatest of all time without that offensive line? You don't know, but it's a lot harder to make those plays when you're sitting on your back. So I'm looking at that same approach for the Chicago Bears. If you want to move up for a guy, if you want to trade picks for a guy, and it happens to be an offensive lineman this year, I would not be mad at that, because you're trying to shore up a position that is going to protect whoever is standing behind it. And we've seen, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl standing behind a dominant offensive line, and we've seen the contrast here. When there is no offensive line, how different his game is. We've seen guys who we would say are middling, mediocre quarterbacks play much better with an offensive line. So you have to commit to whatever guy you bring into this building. You have to commit to whatever guy you draft at the quarterback position for your future, to protecting him, to helping him stay upright, to helping him so that he does have time to learn how to survey a defense, because there's time to survey that defense. That's the biggest thing for me. So get this guy. Don't not only go out and get him offensive weapons that he can go to, which I think any quarterback coming to this team will have that. Even if you do lose A-Rob, you've still got Darnell Mooney, you've still got Cole Kmet. There are still some pieces on this team. This team has weapons. You've still got Tariq Cohen and David Montgomery in your backfield. This team has weapons that you can utilize. It's a matter of, is the next guy going to be able to stand back there without getting murdered 40 times a game because the defense is in his face 2 seconds after he snaps the ball? And is he going to be able to assess what's happening in front of him? That's the kind of help the Chicago Bears need to start giving to their quarterbacks in this league. And I think those are the two biggest issues. And you're probably not going to be able to attack both this offseason, honestly. I think more than likely, if the Bears do anything, they will probably try to find the quarterback position this offseason, just because it's an offseason where I believe they have 8 picks this year. So there's something that you can trade for. There's something that you can use as capital to move up in the draft. If you saw a guy that you wanted to go after, if Matt said this is the guy that we need to be successful. And listen, I don't even think the sad part is, like, 2021, I don't even think the outlook on that season has to be that your Chicago Bears are a playoff team, a dominant team again. The outlook has to be that you found your quarterback of the future and you're moving in the right direction. For these guys, it seemed that way anyway in the press conference to me, for these guys to keep their jobs and keep moving forward. Because I think of somebody like a Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow. Those guys didn't have winning seasons. They didn't dominate and lead their teams to the playoffs, but they both looked very promising. They both looked like they understood NFL football, and they both looked like they were taking steps in the right direction. And those programs you look at with a smile. You think you found your guy. Can the Bears do that? And is that guy even in this draft? Is that guy? I mean, for us, we're looking at guys like a Kyle Trask, maybe. It would be tough to trade up to any of the major names. Even getting up to Justin Fields would be tough for me, because you're probably, I mean, we're talking about moving up 15 picks, maybe at least 10. At least 10. And the capital you'd have to give up to do that, I don't know if it's worth it in that situation. So we're really talking about like a Kyle Trask. Maybe you work your way into a Mac Jones. Maybe that's something that can be done. But it's yet to be seen. But I want to know your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace can figure this thing out, finally get the quarterback position right, and make the moves that they need to make to get that done? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, it is your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago sports content. Click the link here or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.